Howdy folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles. As you can see from the loading screen here, it's Platoon night. Myself, Dan and Thor, we're all in our tier 8 premiums, grinding out some cash. This was actually filmed under 7.4, so it's quite an old replay. I'd always intended to convert it to a video file, stick a commentary and stick it on YouTube, but for some reason it just slipped through the cracks. But I've kept my 7.4 installation so I can still play my old replays, and here it is. Now this ended up being an unusual game. We'll call it unusual. It's Siegfried line. It's an encounter. We're the top tier. I'm in my Lowe there in their KV5s, and straight away I'm looking at what's on the enemy team, and I don't want to be caught on the middle of this open field by all their mediums and their faster heavy tanks. So I need to get off this damn field quick. But that's the thing about the Lowe. It's not very fast. Even going up this tiny little rise here, the best I can do is 10 kilometers per hour. And here they come. But the thing about the Lowe is it has an absolutely fantastic gun. It's really slow, it's a massive target, it doesn't really have much in the way of sloping. But the gun is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm still trying to get off this field, but these targets just keep popping up. And look at the damage you can do to them with this gun. I mean, it'd be rude of me not to shoot. But I have a problem here now, because in order to get off the field I have to turn my flank onto them, much as these guys are turning their flanks onto me. And if I do that and they start shooting at me, I'm a dead tank. So I'm pretty much forced by circumstance to stay here and kill them all. But it turns out that oh, here they come. Now they can see me. There's my first bounce. There's my second bounce. Well, that one did a little bit of damage. So now I have to face my frontal armour towards them and keep it angled. As you can see, bounce, 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 and another one. Now they do have one artillery, so I can't really stay in one spot, but it is only tier 4 artillery, and that's not really much of a threat to a tier 8 heavy tank. Although if he lands one smack on the top of my engine deck, I could be in trouble. But look at all these bounces I'm taking here. There's another one. I mean, I lost track. I gave up counting. And, you know, they can hit my tracks all they like. I can put up with that all day. There they go. Tracks again. And I think I only actually take 3 damaging hits throughout the course of this entire game. Up to this, you know, from this point on.
Looks like that one went right through. One of our tracks is damaged.
Again, tracks, no damage. And here's the thing, and this is why this ended up working so well. Armour-piercing ammunition, penetration value falls off at range, and all of these shots that I'm firing at them are at 500 metres, which is kind of the limit of the view and spotting range. I have superior optics. I have a much better gun. German guns all fire. They tended to be higher velocity ammunition, so they didn't lose as much penetration value at range as all of these Russian guns shooting back at me, which means that at long range I have a much better chance of penetrating and damaging them, and they have a much lower chance of penetrating and damaging me. It's just the way the different guns work. So it's a long, complicated way of saying sitting in the middle of that open field in this game under these circumstances at 500 meters range was actually a perfectly safe place for me to be. And not a perfectly safe place for them to be, because my gun is so much better than theirs. And I honestly wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking, I need to get off this bloody field, I'm going to die. But it turned out it was a perfectly fine position to be in. And of course you can completely help yourself out just by angling your hull a little. And the front of the, I mean, the Lowe isn't famous for having good armour, because it doesn't have good armour. But the front of the turret is pretty good. So even if you're taking fire from multiple different tanks, even if they're all in front of you, as long as they're at long range and you do angle that hull, you'll usually do okay. Oh, Thor totally ninjaed my kill of that leopard. And now the only real threat they have left, because their artillery is about to be killed by our mediums, and that is just a gift. Straight into the ass of this other Lowe, and he turns his... So, you know, I'm going to be shooting him in the ass. Thor and Dan are going to come around and plug him in the back of the turret. This guy's screwed coming and going. And I don't mind taking a hit or two from him, because I can definitely survive it. And that one didn't even do any damage. It's quite surprising. And just before I can finish him off, Type 59 takes a good shot from all the way over there and plugs him. So only one actual kill in this game. That was the Type 59. I can't remember. I may have even gotten Confederate out of this one. I know I got Steel Wall. And that was simply because all of those Russian tank guns at 500 metre range didn't have a prayer of sustaining enough penetration to consistently get through my armour. There are a couple of holes there, and I did take a couple of hits. Oh, that was a lucky one. See that one underneath the gun mantle? But no module damage, no crew killed. And we'll have a look at the after battle screen and see just how many hits I took. And this is a guaranteed Steel Wall. And then we have one tank left, and he's running for it. He's offered to surrender in chat. I'm not going after him with 266 health. I'd probably die, knowing my luck. So I'm just going to sit here nice and safe in the cap circle and earn some base capture points, along with, well, just about everybody else. We've got a Lowe chasing after him. Good luck catching him before we manage to cap. And there it is. So let's have a look at the stats. "17 hits received, and I think 5 of them did damage. Took 1 or 2 hits from that Lowe at the end, but I was quite prepared to accept some damaging hits at that point. I knew we could kill him before he killed us. Up to that point, I mean, look at that. We're talking 11 or 12 bounces, and we didn't quite get Confederate. We only damaged 5, killed 1. But that's the easiest Steel Wall I have ever earned. And you don't get many Steel Walls in the Lowe, because it is not difficult to kill. But under those circumstances, I mean, I was trying to get off that field. I did not want to be caught on that exposed open field with no cover against all those enemy tanks. And yet it turned out, because of the extreme range, to be the safest place for me to be. I could hit them, penetrate them and damage them with impunity. And because of the lower velocity of the Russian tank gun shells, they lost so much penetration at that range that they had real problems getting through my hull. So easiest Steel Wall I ever earned. So that was the Lowe Tier 8 German premium tank, and look at how much credits it earned. 95,000. Oh yeah. And that's why people drive Tier 8 premiums. They are good tanks. They're not great tanks, but they're good enough, and they earn so much money. So yeah, Lowe. That's not how you pronounce it. Lowe, I hope. German Tier 8 premium tank. Having a great game in unusual circumstances on the Siegfried line in patch 7.4. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.